Looking to conquer the digital universe with some out-of-this-world content? Join the Sci-Fi Empire crew, where we work hard to bring you the coolest sci-fi adventures. Hit that subscribe and follow button, and let's embark on an epic journey together.
The endless canvas of space stretched ominously silent above planet Thera, marred by the smears of galactic battles and the scars of alien invasions. Beneath this fractured sky, nestled in a cluster of jagged rocks, lay a creature as unique as the stars themselves. She was a Gallian, a species revered and feared in equal measure for their telepathic prowess and incomprehensible beauty. Her scales shimmered in hues of twilight, reflecting the last rays of a dying sun. However, the majestic creature was far from peaceful. She was wounded, left alone, abandoned. Era, as she was named by her kin, had been a sentinel, a guardian of the Gallian borders. But during the last skirmish with the Zuldar, a barbaric race bent on conquest, she had been betrayed. A treacherous ally had led her into an ambush, leaving her badly injured and unable to return home. Now she lay hidden, her energy fading, her telepathic calls for help weakening into the void. On the same planet, though many leagues away, a human outpost buzzed with activity. Humans, relatively new to the intergalactic scene, were eager to establish their presence, mining rare minerals and establishing trade routes. Among them was Dr. Liam Fisher, a xenobiologist fascinated by alien life forms. His life was dedicated to the study and preservation of species across the universe. That fateful evening, as he scanned his readings and monitored the wildlife activity, an anomaly caught his attention. A weak, irregular signal unlike any he had previously encountered. Driven by curiosity and an innate sense of adventure, Liam decided to investigate. He prepared his gear, notified his team of his whereabouts, and set off into the waning light. The journey was treacherous. Thera's terrain was unforgiving, with sharp rocks, steep cliffs, and sudden storms. Several hours into his expedition, as the light from his hoverbike's beams cut through the darkness, Liam stumbled upon a sight that took his breath away. Era lay partially concealed under an overhang of rocks. Even in her wounded state, she was a sight to behold. Her scales, though dulled by pain and distress, still glowed softly, illuminating the shadows. Liam approached cautiously, aware that any sudden movement could startle the alien creature. His heart pounded in his chest, not out of fear, but out of awe and compassion. "Hello there. I mean you no harm," Liam whispered, knowing full well his words would not be understood, but hoping his tone would convey his intentions. To his surprise, Era responded, not through words, but through a faint pulse of emotion, desperation, relief, and a faint trace of hope. It was her telepathic abilities, weakened but not defeated. Liam set his medical kit down slowly, speaking softly. "I'm here to help you. Let's take a look at those injuries." As he treated her wounds with the care of one who has spent a lifetime understanding creatures great and small, a bond began to form. A bond that transcended species, languages, and worlds. As he worked, Era's mind touched his, showing him flashes of her past, her battles, her betrayal. The images were fragmented and chaotic, but through them, Liam saw her not just as a creature, but as a being with a story, with fears and dreams. He realized then that he wasn't just healing her body. He was also restoring her trust, mending her broken spirit. By the time Liam had stabilized her injuries, the first light of dawn was breaking. He knew this was just the beginning. He would need to convince his superiors to allow him to aid in her full recovery. More importantly, he needed to ensure Era's safety from those who might still seek her harm. As Liam looked out over the horizon, with Era resting more peacefully, he understood the weight of the responsibility he had taken on. This wasn't just about science or discovery, it was about sanctuary, about healing not just a body but a soul. And perhaps in helping her, he would also find a new direction for his own path. As the first rays of dawn crept over the horizon, casting a golden glow over the rugged landscape of Thera, Liam and Era were already on the move. Liam had set up a makeshift sling from his hoverbike's cargo net to help carry Era. Her size and weight were considerable, yet the hoverbike, designed for heavy lifting, managed well under the strain. As they traveled, the silence between them was filled with a palpable sense of mutual curiosity and an emerging trust. Back at the outpost, rumors about Liam's mysterious departure had started to circulate among the crew. His assistant, Maya, a keen young engineer with a penchant for gossip, was the first to notice his prolonged absence. Concerned, yet intrigued, she decided to track his last known coordinates, leading a small team towards the same jagged terrains where Liam had found Era. Meanwhile, Liam, aware of the outpost's protocols for missing personnel, tried to send a brief transmission back, but technical difficulties thwarted his efforts. The landscape was rich in a mineral that notoriously interfered with communication technology, a detail he had momentarily forgotten. As Liam and Era progressed, Era's telepathic abilities began to strengthen with her physical recovery, allowing her to communicate more complex thoughts. She shared stories of her planet, Goliath, a world of vast oceans and floating islands where beings like her communicated not just through thoughts, but through the very currents of the water. She spoke of the Great Assembly, a council of species from different galaxies, and how Goliath's representatives wielded significant influence due to their ancient lineage and wisdom. The more Liam learned about Goliath and the Galian culture, the more he realized the importance of Era's survival. She was not merely a wounded animal to be nursed back to health. She was a dignitary, a vital link in the cosmic chain of galactic diplomacy and peacekeeping. On the outskirts of the outpost, as Maya and her team closed in on Liam's last known location, they stumbled upon tracks and other signs of his passage. The team, equipped with their own hoverbikes, picked up speed, driven by a mix of concern for their colleague and the thrill of the unknown. By midday, Liam and Era reached a secluded valley that Liam deemed safe for a temporary shelter. He had brought along supplies for both of them, including nutrient-rich food packets that, while not tailored for galactic species, should suffice until he could create a more suitable mix. As he cared for Era, setting up a camp with the outpost's portable habitat modules, Liam pondered the implications of his actions. He was harboring an alien being, potentially against regulations, and he was doing so based on a bond that had formed under extraordinary circumstances. Yet, he couldn't deny the profound connection that had been established, a connection that felt as old as the stars themselves. Era, sensing his conflicted emotions, reached out with her mind, offering comfort. In her thoughts, Liam felt a serene assurance that transcended the worries of the moment. Era showed him visions of Goliath, where different beings lived in harmony, and shared a concept that was central to her people, that all life, regardless of form or origin, was interconnected through the cosmic web of existence. Just as Liam was settling into the quiet comfort of their hidden valley, a distant hum broke his reverie. Maya and her team had arrived, their expressions a mix of astonishment and concern as they caught sight of the magnificent creature resting by Liam's side. Liam stood, ready to explain, to defend his actions if necessary. But as Maya approached, her curiosity overtaking her caution, it became clear that the story Liam and Era had to tell was one that would challenge the very foundations of human understanding about life in the cosmos. The moment was ripe with potential, ready to unfold into deeper revelations and broader horizons. As Maya and her team approached, their initial astonishment gave way to a blend of curiosity and cautious excitement. Their eyes were wide with the sort of wonder usually reserved for children encountering the sea for the first time. Era, despite her recuperation, sensed the arrival of newcomers and raised herself slightly, her scales shimmering with a subtle display of colors that reflected her cautious optimism. Liam stepped forward, raising a hand in greeting and as a subtle sign to maintain a respectful distance. "Everyone, this is Era. She's a Galian from the planet Goliath, a dignitary and survivor of what I can only describe as a cosmic ordeal. I know this looks unusual, but I assure you, there's a good reason for everything." Maya, always quick to bridge gaps, smiled and nodded, her engineering mind already ticking through the implications of first contact protocols and the potential for new technologies and understandings. "Dr. Fisher, we were worried when you didn't check in, but it seems you've made quite the discovery." Era, picking up on the sincerity and the latent fear in the group, decided to take a step of her own in bridging the vast interspecies divide. She sent out a gentle wave of reassurance, a telepathic whisper that felt like a warm breeze on a cool day. The team staggered slightly, unprepared for the telepathic contact, but the fear ebbed away, replaced by a shared awe. With the ice broken, Liam quickly briefed the team on Era's condition, her capabilities, and the need for discretion. It was clear that the outpost commander would need to be informed, and decisions would have to be made regarding the next steps. Yet, in that moment, in that secluded valley, a mini-council formed, mirroring the Grand Council's Era had described on Goliath. Maya, ever practical, began discussing logistics. "We'll need to set up a more permanent medical facility," she proposed, glancing at the portable habitat modules. And security measures. If Era's people are as influential as you say, we can't afford any mistakes in how we handle this situation. Era, listening and learning, marveled at the humans' quick adaptation to the new reality. Her people were known for their deliberation and deep thinking, traits that had served them well in the cosmos, but sometimes slowed their reactions. In contrast, these humans displayed a remarkable ability to respond to the unexpected with both speed and care. As the afternoon waned into evening, the team worked to enhance the shelter, turning it into a temporary but comfortable haven for Era. They installed medical equipment borrowed from the outpost's infirmary, and additional security measures were subtly integrated into the surrounding area, ensuring privacy and protection. Liam found himself splitting his time between helping with the setup and sitting with Era, discussing the universe's mysteries and the many species that populated it. Through their dialogue, Liam learned about the Synergetic Alliance, a coalition of species dedicated to maintaining peace and harmony across star systems. Era expressed her hope that perhaps humans could one day join this illustrious group, especially now that they had shown themselves capable of empathy and respect towards other life forms. As night fell and the stars claimed the sky, the team gathered around a newly erected communication module. The time had come to report their findings and their guest to the higher authorities at the Central Command. The conversation that would follow was likely to be one of the most significant in human history, with repercussions reaching far beyond the rocky terrains of Thera. Liam, with a last look at Era, who now rested more comfortably than before, felt the weight of history pressing down upon them. But alongside that weight was a profound promise, a hint of the future's vast, uncharted symphony of interstellar relations and understanding. As he initiated the call, his voice steady but his heart racing, he knew they were stepping into a new era, not just for themselves, but for all of humanity. The communication module buzzed to life, casting a pale blue glow that illuminated the faces of Liam and his makeshift council. Era, sensing the gravity of the moment, positioned herself where she could see both the human team and the screen, her presence a silent reminder of the stakes involved. Commander Helen Anders appeared on the screen, her expression a mixture of concern and intrigue. "Dr. Fisher, your message was cryptic. Can you explain why you've called this emergency meeting?" Liam took a deep breath, acutely aware of every eye on him, human and otherwise. "Commander, we've made first contact," he began, stepping aside to give the commander a clear view of Era. "This is Era, a galleon from the planet Goliath. She's been injured and stranded here, but her recovery is underway. Her species is highly influential in the Synergetic Alliance, a major galactic coalition. This encounter could open monumental diplomatic channels for us." Commander Anders' eyes widened slightly as she absorbed the sight of the galleon. After a brief pause, she regained her composure. "Dr. Fisher, this is extraordinary. However, you know first contact protocols require immediate notification. Why the delay?" Liam explained the communication issues caused by Thera's mineral-rich terrain and assured her of his initial intent to follow protocols. As he spoke, Maya handed him datapads with readings and images documenting their encounter and Era's recovery process, which he transmitted to the commander. Commander Anders reviewed the information with a furrowed brow. "Understood, Dr. Fisher. Maintain your position and keep the situation contained. I need to consult with Earth Command. This could change everything." As the screen flickered off, a heavy silence fell over the group. The immediate crisis of disclosure was handled, but a storm of bureaucratic and political maneuvers was sure to follow. Era, perceptive to the sudden tension, used her revitalized telepathic abilities to project a soothing aura, reminding everyone of the peaceful intentions that had governed their actions so far. Over the next few hours, the team fortified their position, setting up additional security measures and expanding the habitat to better accommodate Era's needs. Maya worked closely with Liam, integrating alien technology with human to create a hybrid system that could support Era's unique physiology. The integration not only stabilized Era but also allowed her a greater range of movement and comfort. As night deepened into the darker hours, an urgent message arrived from Commander Anders. She instructed Liam and his team to prepare for the arrival of a special envoy from Earth Command, along with a team of xenodiplomats and scientists. The news was both exciting and daunting. The eyes of humanity would soon be upon them, scrutinizing every action for its potential impact on interstellar relations. The following day, as they awaited the envoy, Liam and Era continued their discussions about the universe. Era spoke of the Ecliptic Trials, a series of challenges and negotiations that new members of the Synergetic Alliance were expected to undertake. The trials were designed to assess the ethical, cultural, and diplomatic aptitudes of potential members, ensuring that only those who could truly contribute to the cosmic balance were admitted. Liam shared these insights with the team, sparking a series of strategic meetings about how they might present humanity's candidacy to the Alliance, should the opportunity arise. The idea of participating in such trials was daunting, but it also offered a unique opportunity to prove humanity's worth beyond their technological and economic achievements. As preparations continued, the horizon began to shimmer with the approach of spacecraft, signaling the arrival of the envoy. The team gathered outside, their faces a mix of anxiety and determination. This was the moment of truth, the beginning of a dialogue that could usher humanity into a new era of galactic community. Era, standing beside Liam, looked up at the approaching ships, her thoughts echoing in his mind. "Together, we are about to rewrite the stars," she conveyed, her voice a mixture of prophecy and promise. As the ships touched down, casting long shadows over the Thera landscape, the future seemed to unfold before them, vast and unpredictable, like the universe itself. The morning air on Thera was charged with anticipation as the envoy's ships descended smoothly onto the rugged terrain. The sleek, imposing design of the vessels spoke of Earth Command's seriousness and readiness to engage in this historic event. Dust swirled around the landing pads as the crafts settled, their engines humming a low, reverberating tune that seemed almost otherworldly. Liam, Era, and the team stood ready, their uniforms impeccable, the setup behind them a testament to their diligent preparations. As the hatch of the lead ship opened, a delegation of Earth's finest diplomats, scientists, and military advisors stepped out, their expressions a mix of awe and professionalism. Leading the delegation was Ambassador Franklin, a veteran in interstellar negotiations, known for his calm demeanor and strategic mind. He approached Liam first, offering a firm handshake that was both a greeting and a silent accolade for the gravity of Liam's discovery. "Dr. Fisher, your team has done remarkable work under extraordinary circumstances," Ambassador Franklin began, his gaze shifting to Era, who regarded him with a poised serenity. "We're here to ensure this opportunity is handled with the utmost care and to support your efforts in solidifying a positive relationship with Miss Era and her people." Era responded not with words, but with a graceful nod, her telepathic touch gently brushing the minds of the delegation, offering a silent welcome. Her ability to communicate so directly yet non-invasively left a profound impression, easing the initial tension and fostering a milieu of mutual respect. The first order of business was a private meeting between Era, Ambassador Franklin, and a select few from both sides. They convened in the specially prepared diplomatic tent, which had been equipped with translation devices, although they proved somewhat unnecessary given Era's telepathic capabilities. As discussions commenced, Era shared more about the Synergetic Alliance and the potential roles Earth could play within it. She emphasized the importance of mutual benefits and responsibilities, stressing that membership was not merely a privilege, but a commitment to uphold the values and laws of the Alliance. Ambassador Franklin listened intently, his team taking meticulous notes. He presented Earth's achievements and aspirations, highlighting humanity's resilience and ingenuity. He also addressed potential concerns about Earth's historical conflicts and current challenges, assuring Era that humanity was on a path toward greater unity and peace. Meanwhile, outside the diplomatic tent, Liam and Maya briefed the rest of the science team on Gallian technology and culture. The exchange was not just about diplomacy, but also about technological and cultural integration. Maya, in particular, was fascinated by the advanced bioengineering and environmental technologies of the Gallian, seeing them as key to solving many of Earth's lingering environmental issues. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows over the temporary human-alien enclave, the initial meetings concluded with promising outcomes. Ambassador Franklin announced a dinner under the stars, prepared by the outpost's chefs with adjustments to accommodate Gallian dietary preferences, which Era had shared. The dinner provided a less formal setting where both teams could mingle and discuss lighter topics, such as Gallian art and human music. Era, who had begun to understand and appreciate the human capacity for joy and celebration, shared some of her culture's harmonic compositions, a form of music that was both felt and heard, resonating deeply with the human delegates. As the evening progressed, the bonds between the two species strengthened, their interactions laying the groundwork for a robust diplomatic relationship. The success of the evening was palpable, and as the delegation retired for the night, plans were already underway for the next day's sessions, which would delve deeper into the specifics of an alliance treaty. In his temporary quarters, Liam reflected on the whirlwind of events. The universe had indeed felt vast and empty at times, but now it seemed rich with potential and companionship. As he looked up at the stars, he felt a deep connection, not only to Era and her world, but to the entire cosmos, now more reachable and relatable than ever before. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, the camp was already bustling with activity. Today's agenda was packed with technical discussions, cultural exchanges, and, most critically, the drafting of a preliminary treaty between Earth and the Synergetic Alliance, facilitated through Era as their representative. Inside the main tent, set up as a conference room, the mood was one of focused anticipation. Ambassador Franklin and his team, alongside Era and the human scientific delegation, were seated around a large oval table. The surface of the table was a digital interface, displaying documents, schematics, and real-time translations. The morning session began with a detailed presentation by the human delegation on Earth's technological advancements, particularly in space travel and renewable energy technologies. Liam took the lead, showcasing the adaptive technologies developed for deep space exploration missions. He highlighted humanity's resilience and creativity in overcoming environmental and logistical challenges, qualities that he believed would contribute positively to the Alliance. Era, in turn, shared insights into Galian bioengineering, a field far advanced from human capabilities. She explained how their technologies were not only sustainable, but also enhanced the natural ecosystems of their planets. Her presentation included a virtual tour of Galian cities, harmoniously integrated into their environments without disrupting the native flora and fauna. As the presentations concluded, the floor was opened for a Q&A session. The dialogue that ensued was not just about sharing knowledge, but also about addressing concerns and exploring potential areas of collaboration. One significant point of discussion was the Galian method of energy generation, which was based on a form of quantum synthesis that was completely renewable and highly efficient. The human scientists were keen on understanding and possibly adapting this technology, seeing it as a solution to Earth's escalating energy crises. Post-lunch, the conversation shifted towards cultural integration and legal frameworks. The diplomats, led by Ambassador Franklin, initiated discussions on the legal implications of an alliance. This included mutual defense pacts, trade agreements, and the exchange of cultural artifacts and knowledge. Era emphasized the importance of respect for each species' sovereignty and the need for an education exchange program to foster deeper interspecies understanding. Throughout these discussions, Era used her telepathic abilities subtly, smoothing over misunderstandings and helping to clarify intentions. This unique form of communication was new to the human delegates, and it underscored the potential depth of integration possible between the two civilizations. By late afternoon, a draft treaty was taking shape. It outlined the steps for Earth's entry into the Synergetic Alliance, contingent upon a series of joint missions and initiatives designed to demonstrate Earth's commitment and capability. The treaty also proposed the establishment of an interstellar cultural exchange center on Earth to serve as a hub for galactic diplomacy and education. As the delegates reviewed the draft, the atmosphere in the room was cautiously optimistic. Both sides recognized the monumental nature of this agreement and the mutual benefits it promised. Yet, they were also aware of the challenges ahead, including gaining the approval of their respective governments and populations. The day concluded with a small ceremony outside, where Era, representing the Galian perspective, and Ambassador Franklin, representing Earth, planted a tree native to Goliath soil, brought by Era as a symbol of growing friendship and cooperation. The tree, which thrived in any environment, was a fitting metaphor for the hoped-for relationship between Earth and the Synergetic Alliance. That evening, as the camp settled down and the stars emerged, reflecting off the digital screens and metallic surfaces of the human outpost, Liam walked to the edge of the camp, looking out over the alien landscape of Thera. Beside him, Era joined silently, her presence both comforting and inspiring. "There's a whole universe out there," Liam said, his voice low, filled with wonder and a hint of apprehension. "Yes," Era replied, her thoughts mingling with his. "And together we can make it better. Not just for us, but for all who live under these stars." As they stood together, the barriers between their worlds seemed less insurmountable. Tomorrow would bring more negotiations, more planning, more challenges. But tonight, under the vast, starlit sky, they allowed themselves a moment of quiet celebration of the progress they had made, not just towards a treaty, but towards understanding and uniting their worlds. As the first light of a new day washed over the encampment, the mood was tinged with a mix of determination and the anxious pulse of looming challenges. Today's discussions were set to focus on the defense protocols and security arrangements, a topic of crucial importance and delicate handling given Earth's tumultuous history with conflict. In the conference tent, Era and Ambassador Franklin resumed their places at the head of the table, flanked by military strategists and security experts from both sides. The atmosphere was charged, as the implications of mutual defense meant entrusting part of each civilization's safety to the other. The session opened with a detailed assessment of the galactic threat landscape presented by the Gallian military advisor, General Varric. His overview included potential aggressive maneuvers by known hostile entities like the Zuldar, the same race that had initially wounded Era. Varric's insights were not just informative, but also a stark reminder of the universe's darker forces, against which the Synergetic Alliance had long stood as a bulwark. Following General Varric's presentation, Earth's Defense Secretary outlined humanity's military capabilities, including advancements in spaceborne warfare and defensive technologies. The Secretary stressed Earth's commitment to peace, but underscored the necessity of preparedness in the face of potential threats. The mutual respect for each civilization's prowess and the underlying need for security collaboration became the cornerstone of the morning's dialogue. As discussions unfolded, Liam found himself reflecting on the broader implications of these alliances. The concept of Earth participating in interstellar defense was both exhilarating and daunting. It signified a step out of their historical isolation into a community where Earth was but one of many voices. The afternoon was devoted to hashing out the specifics of the Mutual Defense Treaty. Key clauses were debated, including the extent of military aid each party was expected to provide in the event of conflict, the sharing of intelligence, and the joint development of defensive strategies and technologies. The talks were meticulous and fraught with legal and ethical considerations, reflecting the complexities of crafting a bond that would need to hold under the potential strain of future conflicts. Throughout the negotiations, Era played a crucial role as a mediator. Her ability to empathetically connect with each delegate helped ease tensions and foster a deeper understanding. This unique aspect of Gallian diplomacy, based on empathy and mental connectivity, offered a new dimension to human negotiations, which were traditionally more confrontational. As the day drew to a close, the initial framework of the Defense Accord was established. It was a testament to the trust that had been built over the past few days, and while not yet complete, it provided a solid foundation for future security cooperation. The day ended with a communal dinner, where delegates from both sides mingled in a more relaxed setting. Music from both Earth and Goliath filled the air, a symbolic celebration of their burgeoning cultural exchange. Liam found himself seated beside Era, their earlier conversations giving way to a comfortable silence that spoke of mutual respect and understanding. After dinner, as the delegates retired to their quarters, Liam and Era walked to a quiet part of the camp. They stood looking up at the stars, each point of light a reminder of the vastness of their responsibilities. "We are knitting a delicate fabric, Liam," Era said telepathically, her voice a gentle wave in his mind. "It must hold strong against many forces." Liam nodded, his thoughts heavy with the weight of their undertaking. "It's a new beginning for humanity," he replied. "Thanks to you, we're not just reaching out into the stars. We're being woven into a larger tapestry." Era smiled, a subtle uplifting of her features that was becoming more familiar to him. "And so it is for us all. Every alliance, every friendship renews and strengthens the fabric of our shared universe." The night deepened, and the stars shone clearer. Around them, the camp slept, but for those few moments, Liam and Era shared a vision of a future where Earth and Goliath and all their allied worlds might stand together against whatever shadows might come. The sun rose over Thera, casting long shadows and illuminating the alien landscape with a soft, golden hue. As the camp stirred to life, the delegates prepared for a pivotal day. Today's discussions were set to finalize the protocols on intelligence sharing and technological cooperation, a cornerstone for ensuring the sustained security and advancement of all parties within the alliance. In the conference tent, the air was thick with the anticipation of intricate dialogues that were expected to unfold. Era and Ambassador Franklin resumed their central roles, their presence symbolizing the bridge between two vastly different cultures coming together for a common cause. The session began with a presentation by the Galian tech specialists, led by a renowned scientist, Dr. Morel. She introduced advanced surveillance and data analysis technologies used by the Alliance, designed to detect and neutralize threats before they could escalate. The systems were impressively effective, utilizing a combination of artificial intelligence and quantum computing, adapted to operate within the diverse environments of the Alliance members' worlds. Human representatives responded with presentations of Earth's own advancements, including the development of an interstellar communication network that could potentially be integrated with Galian technology to create a robust, secure system spanning multiple star systems. The potential for such a network excited both parties, as it would significantly enhance the speed and security of their communications. As the morning progressed, discussions delved into the specifics of what intelligence sharing would entail. Issues of privacy, jurisdiction, and operational oversight were meticulously debated. Ambassador Franklin emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability, particularly given humanity's historical struggles with surveillance overreach. Era, understanding the delicate nature of these issues, suggested the establishment of a bi-species regulatory body that would oversee the implementation of these technologies, ensuring that all actions were in compliance with both Earth's and the Alliance's legal standards. This proposal was well received, seen as a balanced approach to managing the new systems while respecting each member's sovereignty. After a brief recess, the afternoon sessions focused on technological cooperation. Here, the emphasis shifted towards how Earth could contribute to and benefit from existing Alliance technologies. Discussions ranged from environmental restoration projects, which could greatly benefit from Galian bioengineering techniques, to joint ventures in space exploration. One of the key agreements formulated involved the creation of a joint research facility to be located on a neutral planet within the Alliance's space. This facility would serve as a hub for scientific exchange, providing a space where researchers from Earth and other Alliance members could collaborate on projects ranging from medicine to astrophysics. As the day drew to a close, the final drafts of the agreements were circulated among the delegates. Each clause was scrutinized, debated, and, after several iterations, approved. It was a marathon session that tested the endurance and commitment of all involved, but the atmosphere was one of accomplishment and forward-looking optimism. The agreements were set to be signed the following morning, in a ceremony that would officially mark the beginning of Earth's candidacy period for full membership in the Synergetic Alliance. The night before the signing, a sense of camaraderie enveloped the camp as delegates from various worlds shared stories, laughter, and speculations about the future. Liam and Era took a moment to step away from the festivities, finding solace under the stars. They reflected on the journey that had brought them here, from their first uncertain encounter to standing on the brink of a new era for both their species. Era turned to Liam, her eyes reflecting the starlight. "What we are doing will echo through the ages," she communicated, her voice a comforting melody in his mind. Liam nodded, his heart full of a profound mix of joy and responsibility. "Together, we'll build something that lasts, something that protects and enriches all of our worlds." As they returned to the celebration, the night sky blazed with stars, each one a silent witness to the history being made below. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but for now, they stood united, on the verge of a bold new chapter in the saga of the cosmos. Dawn crept quietly over the camp, the soft light painting a serene backdrop to what would be a historic day. The delegates gathered early, their faces reflecting the gravity and hope of the ceremony ahead. The signing of the treaties would not only signify Earth's provisional entry into the Synergetic Alliance, but also mark a new chapter in interstellar diplomacy. Ambassador Franklin and Era, alongside their respective teams, reviewed the final documents in the main conference tent. The text was displayed on large screens, every clause reflecting hours of negotiation, each word imbued with the potential of future peace and cooperation. Outside the tent, the area had been prepared for the ceremony. Flags representing Earth and the Synergetic Alliance, along with those of its member species, fluttered in the gentle morning breeze. A podium stood at the front, backed by a large display showing a live feed of the event that would be broadcast across different worlds, sharing this momentous occasion with countless beings across the galaxy. As the time approached, delegates took their seats, and the atmosphere was filled with a mix of solemnity and subdued excitement. The ceremony began with speeches from both Ambassador Franklin and Era, Franklin spoke of Earth's aspirations and its commitment to contributing positively to the galaxy's community. He expressed gratitude towards the Gallian representatives and the Alliance for their openness and guidance. Era, in her address, highlighted the importance of unity and the strength found in diversity. Her speech, telepathically enhanced, touched the minds and hearts of all present, reinforcing the emotional depth of this union. She spoke of the cosmos as a vast home, a shared space where every species could find harmony and prosperity. Following the speeches, the moment of signing arrived. The documents were signed digitally, each representative using a stylus that recorded their signature in glowing lines on the screen. As each name was added, a cheer went up from the assembly, echoing around the enclosure and even beyond, into the open channels broadcasting the event. After the signing, a symbolic exchange of gifts took place. Earth presented a piece of artwork, a sculpture representing humanity's diverse cultures and hopes, its intertwined forms suggesting unity and mutual support. In return, Era presented a Gallian crystal, a naturally occurring gem on Goliath that was capable of absorbing and softly radiating light, symbolizing enlightenment and mutual understanding. The formalities concluded with a communal meal, where dishes from various worlds were shared. It was a vibrant affair, filled with laughter and spirited conversations, a fitting end to a day charged with historic significance. Post-ceremony, as the delegates mingled and the camp slowly returned to its routine, Liam and Ira found a quiet moment to reflect by the newly planted tree from Goliath, now a symbol of their growing friendship and alliance. The tree's leaves shimmered slightly, a Gallian trait that made it seem as if it was quietly rejoicing in its new surroundings. "This tree," Liam mused, watching it sway gently, "reminds me of us, out of place yet perfectly at home, thriving in new soil." Era agreed, her thoughts resonating with warmth. "It will witness many seasons, as will our alliance. What we started here is just the beginning. There will be challenges, yes, but also many triumphs." As the day faded into evening, the significance of their achievements lingered in the air, sweet as the scent of the alien tree. The treaties, now signed, were not just papers marked by ink. They were living promises, commitments that would guide the future interactions of their civilizations. In the quiet that settled over the camp, with the stars peeking through the twilight, there was a profound sense of peace, a peace hard-earned and well-cherished. The cosmos, with all its mysteries and marvels, seemed a little more navigable, a little closer to home. And for Liam and Era, the journey was just beginning, their paths now forever intertwined in the vast tapestry of interstellar destiny. The dawn of a new era was palpable as the delegates prepared for departure. The past days of intense negotiations and heartfelt exchanges had created not just treaties, but a foundation of trust and mutual respect. The camp, once bustling with the urgency of diplomacy, now hummed with the quieter task of packing and goodbyes. Liam and Era stood together, observing the teams as they dismantled the setup that had facilitated this historic meeting. The sense of accomplishment was tinged with a bittersweet note, as they both knew this parting was necessary for the next steps of their journey. "Though this chapter ends, our work continues," Era said, her voice a soothing presence in Liam's mind. "We have much to build upon, many dreams to realize." Liam nodded, his gaze lingering on the horizon where the first ships were already lifting off. "Yes, the real work begins now, implementing what we've agreed, making sure the promises we made are kept, and I look forward to seeing how our worlds will change." As the final preparations were made, Ambassador Franklin approached them, his demeanor a mixture of satisfaction and solemnity. "Dr. Fisher, Miss Era, what we've achieved here will be remembered as a turning point for humanity, and I hope for the Alliance as well. Let's ensure that this momentum is not lost." They all agreed, recognizing the weight of their responsibilities. The ambassador then turned to Era, extending his hand in a gesture that spoke of deep respect. "Era, your courage and wisdom have opened a door that many thought closed. We are in your debt." Era accepted his gesture, her touch gentle. "Ambassador, we are now partners in this great cosmos. There is no debt between equals, only the continuous exchange of goodwill." With the farewells concluded, the human delegation boarded their craft. Liam, taking one last look around, felt a profound connection to everything that had transpired on this alien soil. He turned to Era, who remained on Thera to oversee the transition and the initial implementations of the agreements. "Until we meet again, Era, take care of this place and of yourself," Liam said, the emotion clear in his voice. "And you, Liam," Remember, the stars are not so far apart, Era replied, her words echoing in his mind as he boarded the ship. The journey back to Earth was quiet, each member of the delegation lost in their thoughts, processing the historical significance of their actions and the future they had helped to shape. Liam spent the time reviewing reports and project plans, but his thoughts often drifted to Era and the serene strength she possessed. Upon arrival on Earth, the news of the treaty and Earth's provisional membership in the Synergetic Alliance was met with celebrations and a flurry of activity. Governments, organizations, and citizens expressed a renewed interest in space and the possibilities now opening up. Liam found himself thrust into a new role, one that involved public speaking and consultations on interstellar diplomacy. His first-hand experience and his bond with Era made him a pivotal figure in promoting the benefits of the new interstellar relations. Months turned into years, and the changes brought about by the treaties began to manifest. Joint research facilities sprung up, offering innovations in technology and medicine. Educational exchanges enriched the cultures of all involved. Earth began to heal from its past environmental scars, with Galian bioengineering playing a crucial role. Through it all, Liam kept in regular communication with Era, who visited Earth several times to monitor the progress and strengthen the bonds between their peoples. Each meeting was a reminder of their shared journey and the future they were still crafting together. As Liam stood at a conference, preparing to discuss the latest advancements in interstellar relations, he reflected on how far they had come. The universe, once a vast and unknown expanse, now felt like a neighborhood of friends and allies. The final thought that crossed his mind before he stepped onto the stage was of Era, her words a constant inspiration. The stars are not so far apart, indeed. With a smile, Liam began to speak, sharing their story. A story of unity, courage, and the endless possibilities when worlds come together.
Ready to blast off into the realm of sci-fi wonders? Don't miss out on any intergalactic adventures. Subscribe and join the Sci-Fi Empire squad now. Trust me, it's out of this world.